Well, before we get into your new movie, it's coming out, Paradise Cove. Here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. Where did your passion for writing kind of come from that made you want to get into the movie industry and be a storyteller? Was a certain book or movie inspired it, or something that was just naturally for you as a child?
I grew up listening to stories from my parents. They're kind of a bunch of funny Jews, from New York. So that's the culture. We sat around the table telling stories. And I think that's where it has come from since primitive man.
I love that. Yeah. Very nice. So yeah, I saw the trailer for Paradise Cove. It's about this like couple that moves into like this kind of burnt down Malibu house, but there's just like this kind of crazy woman that's kind of like living in there, and it's kind of starts messing with them, and it looks really amazing. So, where's inspiration for this? Does this actually happen to you in real life or something?
Something close. Okay, so I have a little place in Malibu. It's not very fancy or anything like that. But when I was going out to dinner one night, there's this beautiful home in the center of this place called Malibu Road, right on the ocean. And there's this house, and it's got to be a $30 million beach house. And it was done over the course of several years. And finally, when it was finished, it burned down. And
Oh
I asked,
no!
yeah, I know. Oh no, right? And I said, how could this have happened? This is kind of nutso. Oh, there's my dog in the background.
That's all
Welcome
right.
to Zoom, right? Anyway, I went out to dinner with a bunch of friends, and the contractor in the house was there. And I said, what happened? He said, the owner of the house got into a skirmish with a homeless lady who lived under the house. And when she wasn't home one night, she torched the place.
Oh my
And I
goodness!
and I thought, oh my gosh, when you're living on pylons, you don't have any privacy, and anybody could get under your house. If you live in Beverly Hills in California, you're not going to have squatters eating lunch on your yard because you're going to be fenced in. But when you're on the beach, you're not fenced in. You can't be because the tide has to go under the houses. So I just thought, wow, what a nightmare.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's true though. I didn't think about that because like all the houses there are on stilts, so if the high tide or anything comes in. So wow,
Yeah,
yeah, they
and
really
you
doesn't
and,
do
and
a
they're
lot.
expensive.
Cool. So
Yeah,
how did the
I mean,
wheels
you
start
can't
going
hire
with this?
24-hour security. What's that? I'm sorry.
I was like, yeah. So how did the? I always like cared about the journey of this. So you have the inspiration. What time period did you start writing this and get the? Also you also executive produced this movie too.
Yes, I started writing it probably 5 years ago, and the script evolved. It started a bunch. There were two men who were flipping a house. There were a couple, and there was a woman under the house, but she had this vision of her son who was a ghost. So it was actually started as a supernatural ghost story
Mhm.
and evolved into something very practical and real, which I prefer because everything that happens in this movie, as it gets kind of batty at the end, could happen in real life. And I think at the end of the day, ghosts are scary, but there is nothing scarier than a crazy person.
Oh, absolutely. I think we all have been exposed to some crazy person in our life. So that's
Because you don't know
so.
what crazy will
What does
do.
this come out exactly?
This comes out February 12th on all video on demand platforms. You can find it on Amazon, Vudu. It's everywhere. Pay
Very
per view.
nice. And did you actually shoot in Malibu too, or?
We shot in Malibu. We shot at a soundstage at Thunder Studios with green screen because it was difficult to shoot in Malibu all the time because of the ocean. It's so loud
Oh
that we had
yeah.
to do some of the stuff on the soundstage. But we shot a mixture of Santa Monica, Malibu, Long Beach, and put it all together, which was difficult because you have the real location trying to match the set location of the beach house. So that was a challenge, but it worked out really well.
Well, I have a 8-year-old daughter, and I was looking at your IMDb. There's something on Netflix called Ever After High. Looks like a cool animation that my daughter might actually like. What is that about?
That is about the children of fairy tale gods and goddesses going to school. The daughter of Snow White goes to high school with the daughter of the evil mother. So it's funny. It's like the babies of the legendary Disney characters.
Oh,
So
I love that. Yeah,
in
we're
high
a huge
school.
Disney fan, so. And
Yeah, I think I like it. And there's a lot of dolls. There's a lot of characters. It's kind of the antithesis of normal writing because normally you try to shrink your cast to keep things appropriate and conservatively priced. But in the world of Mattel, you have 50 main characters.
did you ever get any of those dolls? Like,
I do. I have the evil queen doll, and I have a daughter too. She's 12, and she's kind of, you're in that sweet spot where they still like to play with dolls, and she's in that tween category where she has them in the back room now. They're getting dusty.
Yeah.
But we did play with them. We had some princes. It was cute. They're cute dolls. I do recommend the dolls.
And I'm a huge dork, so I have to ask about Star Trek Voyager. I mean, you got to write one episode. That was pretty amazing back in 1997,
Yeah, Voyager's great. I grew up watching Star Trek. I love Star Trek. I think that it's a more perfect union, that's a better world than we live in today. One of the rules of Star Trek writing for any writers out there, this is very important, and it goes for all screenwriting, which is when you meet the alien and they're good, they're really bad. If you meet the alien and they're bad, they're really good. And that's all you need to know about Star Trek.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. And we'll make sure to check out Paradise Cove when it comes out in VOD later next month. All right.
February 12th. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.